So good morning, everybody. We are really excited to start the presentation of our exciting Global Public Health Morocco faculty-led study abroad program. And this is part of the events of the International Education Week here at the University of Montana, which is celebrated all around the world. And of course, very much here at universities in United States. And we are really privileged and excited to have here with us today Leigh Taggart, who is the program director and an adjunct faculty at our Global Public Health Program, and then Cloe Erickson, who's joining us from France, who is the director of the I'm trying to think now your company's name.
I'll explain that in my presentation.
Yeah, okay, so why don't you also have the full, both of you also have the full introductions yourselves, because I don't want to leave out any important part, but we're really excited to have you here. And yes, take it away. We can't wait to hear more about the program, and we're really excited about that, and we hope certainly that it can travel this coming May. So thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. So I'm Cloe Erickson, and I'm originally native of Montana, grew up in Big Fork, Montana, and then went to university for architecture in Bozeman at Montana State University. And through my architectural career and studies, I became interested in Morocco and have since spent the last 12 years of my life quite focused on sharing my passion for Morocco with students from universities, both in Montana, the United States, Europe, and Asia, bringing in students to really have intimate and authentic community engagement programs that we hope and have seen inspire people to maybe think about their career paths differently, to think about international work differently. And it's really been just a joy. So I'm going to talk to you guys first just about Morocco, rural Morocco, really briefly in general, the culture and the location of the village and the valley where this program is focused. And then I'm also going to show you guys a few videos that will give you some insight into the amazing culture there. And then I'll hand it over to Leigh, who's going to take over and talk more about the specifics of this study abroad program. So I'm going to go ahead here and share my screen. Okay, everybody should be able to see that. So as I mentioned, I'm going to talk about rural Morocco, and the culture in rural Morocco is the Amazigh culture. This is a specific culture to North Africa, stretching all the way from Egypt over to the western side of North Africa where Morocco is. So the program itself is organized with two Moroccan and American organizations in partnership with the University of Montana. We have Atlas Cultural Ventures, which is a US and Moroccan tour operator that specializes in engagement education programs in rural Morocco. And then through the Atlas Cultural Foundation, which is a US and Moroccan nonprofit organization, we are able to provide these unique interactions and engagement activities between the students and the local communities. So the Atlas Cultural Foundation focuses its work on vulnerable and marginalized groups and prioritizes work that supports the Moroccan government's current development goals. So here you can see a map.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Are you able to swap your presentation view? We can see all of your slides at once, but if you swap your display at the top.
Yeah, you are really much more experienced in the Zooming than myself, I think. Let's see how I can swap. I don't know how to swap it.
Do you see a swap displays button in the upper left-hand corner, maybe?
Yes.
There.
Can you guys see the main slide now instead of all my slides?
Yep, that fixed it. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Great. I will remember that. That is exactly the
Yeah,
lesson.
I
I need.
always forget that. Regina always reminds me. Yes.
Okay, so here we have a nice large map of Africa, and you can see Morocco is located up there on the top left-hand corner, just south of Spain, across the Strait of Gibraltar. And then underneath Morocco, the dark red is a territory of Morocco called Moroccan Sahara. And this entire territory has just actually this year been recognized by the US and the UN as full Moroccan territory as well, which is an interesting fact. So the program itself is focused in the region of Zaouira Hansal, in the middle of the central high Atlas Mountains of Morocco. And this is where the the Amazigh culture is prominent. So the Amazigh culture of Morocco is diverse and has varying traditions, languages, and history dating back to the 3000 BC or even earlier. So this is one of the most ancient cultures in Africa. Zaouira Hansal is located deep in the central high Atlas Mountains. It's a rural commune with 4 established villages, a weekly market, which happens on Mondays, the local government offices and administration, including representative of the Moroccan king. It also encompasses the high summer pastures, which you can see are on the top of these mountains here. These are high plateaus. And these are the grazing lands of the 8 Abdi and 8 Atta tribes, which are 2 of Morocco's largest semi-nomadic and nomadic tribes. The current population of Zaouira Hansal includes permanent residents, transhumans, and seasonal nomads. And the land is uniquely layered with a tapestry of tribal rights, pastoral lands, and stunning natural beauty. The locals are known as the Amazigh. Now I'm going to show you guys a video about the carpet weaving tradition that is done by the local women.
Hello everybody, welcome in our virtual program. Today we are going to talk about carpets and the rugs, how they are made in high Atlas Mountains and especially in Zaouira Hansal. For this meeting we have with us Fatima Farid. She is a local woman and she's weaving her own carpets in her house. So she will give us more details and more information about this Moroccan tradition. I will ask her some questions and she will, and then we will answer, we will translate for you guys, okay? لاله فاطمه السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
لاباس بخير؟
لاباس الحمد لله.
غاسه درنساو غير في تازالبيت في اختزار بايدة كانوا بساوي همزه.
ما شاء الله.
من جات بلي تازالبيت هذا؟
هو يعني 8 أيام.
8 أيام. تدخليني من كي درتي بلي تازالبيت ما تلحقش تمزوالي بدا تسكت.
الحاج تمزوال بالدسة. صغير تعبط. أو يختد. سخت. سخت تتجبر. باش هذا تكلم تتجا. يختد كمان نقدر كمان ورا الساعة. الوسيل. يقبله. هذيك سخت. تتجا. تتسعى تخسر تخسر 5 دقائق. تتريد غاستيدين سواء تتريد الصابون ولا تقدامه. صافي إذا تترسل كل شيء تتقبله. هي الشبكة ديال تاعنا الفما تيسير تتسد مزيان بس تبتدي راح نبدا نوري صافي إذا تفسر ذا التزوور إذا تتلقى ستة كاع 6 زواج 6 غادي تمري إذا تنتس 3 دكتورين 3 صباح 3 دقيق إذا تنستي إذا تنتس إذا تمش تسويها باش تزيد يدي وانا راه درتي الصباح درتي الصباح ديال الساعه الصباح يزيد السرنا نتوقع في التسليمات زون ديال تسمتيني تنغمات زون ديال تسمتيني ترجع زنتي تسنتيني تسنتيني تنوات مساسات تنساسنا زاتين الصورصاص عاد نجي السباق سبب جاء تنوات مساسات تنغمات ستغم تمرا فضيل دنتوزني سنتي أساسا تنزورو تتين كارل دي سنتنا كوامانينا نستيت نكسس حشدات منا نقصص الصباح نقصص صادوت تنوزيس ورا الساعة يمشينا نكست نفتكرات أكثر نسيت سبا ما نتمتع نريد تمتع نمشي تعالي نفتين تكسم كا وانا يرند تطلبوا بس نتني نزل تسيفات الرواية غيماس بس نطلبوا تمشي ماشي ممكن بس نطلبوا تمشي يعني نزل بس نتعود وين يجي نسنيديا وانا يرند تتابع هذا في التصفية باش تفسير
كنا كلمة المحلية
لان تتصفى نتصفى ننسى يستو وتكستو يعني يعني بس يوصلني السندي هو كان دراسته تزيارة ديت فرقني وتحس جست يتمشى ديت تاخذ وتخن برا السبا يقعد وين بس برا تجي تستمشى ديت تاخذ وتخن برا السبا تاخذ وانا غادي سيري ديت عشان فرق ما بيني باش ديت كان فيها باش كنت فيها ما جات وين مشى ولكن بس ديت كان وغاني ميت ديت كان فرق خاطي هاتي زري سندي باش هذه تستمتع اللي كاس واحد من تستوى وتخن تايبا بصح ذاتي تقول يجي شايفين تويتوا تريد تحاول توزع لا تصير عشان المقص ما تمس يودع الخدمة تانكي تحتاج تستوى سين صح
Oh, there we go. So the carpet weaving is just one of the very unique kind of handicraft traditions of the region. And those traditions have been passed down from the women and are still done by all the women in the village. So now I'm going to show you guys a little bit shorter video here about our Atlas Cultural Foundation elementary school tutoring program. And this is a program that we have been implementing in the village for since 2012, which has made a large impact on the success of the children in the village with their educational pursuits. And it's also one of the main nonprofit community programs that the UofM study abroad program will have access to during the health awareness days that we do with the locals. So we provide access to do health awareness days with the elementary school kids, the middle school kids, and the local women in our Women's Empowerment Program. So here's a short video highlighting the program and also kind of a day in the life of one of the local girls in the village.
في إطار برنامج دعم الدراسي الذي تؤثره مؤسسة أطلس الثقافية غنسير الدعم في المستويات المستوى الخامس والمستوى السادس. المستوى الخامس هو من 22 تلميذ بينما المستوى السادس هو من 20 تلميذ. غنسير الدعم النهار ديال الكواس يعني هذا النهار الكواس تيسير وتنسير 6 أيام يعني أسبوع 6 أيام. فينا نسمى معطيات لذلك الشيء التالي فينا بي سي 3 سنتيم فينا أ بي 6 سنتيم يعني ننجز الشكل ديال الفرق أ بي يعني نصنف أ بي
اسمي مرة مسافر المستوى السادس عشنا نختار اسمي الأول بقرأ القصات أنت النادي أنا كنا حتى كيف تصير السلام عليكم، اسمي نسبي عم حمار، عمري 9 سنين، نقرأ المستوى الخامس ابتدائي، نجي العائلة سبعان كذا اسمها كونسين وشي العائلة، لغوية ماذا تشربي فينا، بكاسة تنزيم العائلة، نقرأ في الصباح ندوس الكراسان ونقرأ نسمعها ونغلف تشغيل كليم ندوس النادي ونغلب النادي ونغلب على استعاون غمان يا إما الكوزينة يا إما استعاون غولين والشردة نوت أي حاجة هي إكل ورسمة الناس عاونين ما يقدر يقرأ في الدروس زيادة أستاذ تمرين اللغة العربية والذي يتعاون المنويدية إذا يقرأ الباك يكون نعم الشيء الأستاذ اللي يتعاون مع كورس كله.
تمارين مشت.
Okay, so that gives you guys a little bit of an idea about the elementary school tutoring program that focuses on supporting the 5th and 6th graders in addition to the government school. So this is in addition to their school day. They come 6 days a week to our program for tutoring in, like the video said, challenging subjects to them, which in the past have prevented them from passing their 6th grade exams, which they have to pass in order to move on to middle school. So now I'm going to do one last video, and this is another video about local traditions, specifically that the women practice. And this is about the henna tradition and how the henna is made and used by the women in the village.
Hello everybody. Today we're going to learn about henna as an important. Hello everybody. Today we're going to learn about henna as an important part of Moroccan culture. And to learn about it, we have with us Fatma. She's a local woman and an expert in henna decorations of tassels. And we have with us Aisha. She's a local woman and she will be the volunteer to have the henna in her hands. So Fatma is going to explain to us how the henna works and how we work with henna first. Fatma, with us? We are going to discuss the henna with the garment. That's it. Let's go. مثل الضوء نوال سيد محمد
Okay, so that's the last video that I have to show you guys today. And hopefully gives you just a small taste of all of the unique cultural traditions within rural Morocco, all of which are things the students experience during their study abroad programs with us. And one thing I wanted to say is that the programs that we do with our university partners, and even specifically with Leigh's programs with the public health programs, have real impact on the village. So we bring you into real programs that are happening in the region, to real public health directives, cultural programs, and educational programs. So it's more than just being there and observing. You're actually incorporated into long-term community development programs that have been going on since 2010 to 2009 in the region, and that are a part of a long-term goal of community development for the region. So now I'm going to hand it over to Leigh to talk more about her role as the faculty, the public health director of the Atlas Cultural Foundation, and the program that she'll be leading there next spring.
Thanks, Chloe. It was great to see all those videos and see all the familiar faces in Morocco. It gets me excited to go back. So my name is Leigh Taggart, and I am a nurse by trade. And then I got my master's in public health at the University of Montana back in 2010. And it was during that time that Chloe and I connected as I was doing community development work in Uganda. And Chloe and I got talking one day, and she was looking to expand her programs in Morocco. And so I got to go to Morocco for the first time in 2012 and have been working in Morocco with students since that time. So I am also a faculty at the University of Montana School of Public Health. I teach the maternal child health course, and I also am doing academic advising as well as some workforce development programs. So, but my passion is in Morocco. So I'm going to share my screen and get started and talk about let me get this going here. Oh, excuse me. Here we are. Okay. Hopefully does that look okay? I got a thumbs up. All right. Awesome. So the program is a 3-credit course, and this is what makes this experience robust and comprehensive, because as Chloe said, we work on projects that are ongoing in Morocco, in the High Atlas Mountains. And so I have experienced the importance of preparing students for the travel and for the immersion prior to leaving. And as a nurse, I saw many instances where especially medical programs would just show up in a country and just do their medical thing and then leave and not really have a great understanding of all of the nuances and all of the interweavings of healthcare systems that are already going on in the country. So that's part of the reason why we have set this up, where it's a 3-credit course and the student learns about Morocco, they learn about the culture of Morocco, the healthcare system, and also all of our programming that's going on in the country. So who's eligible to take Pub 491? And I will say this course is offered through the School of Public Health. It's a public health course. So this course is open to graduates and undergraduates, which is fantastic. You just have to be a sophomore or above. You need to have your grade point average at 2.5 or greater. And I will say we need to have at least 5 students in this course to be able to run the full course. So ideally we'll have between 8 and 12 of us. But I have to put that in there that we need to at least 5. And as I say, you get 3 credits for this course. So the objectives of the course are specifically to identify and describe issues related to the healthcare delivery in the global setting, particularly as it pertains to Morocco. Some of the things we talk about with healthcare challenges include what I call the epidemiological U-turn, and that is the introduction of the chronic disease challenges in these countries and moving away from what we would consider the normal or, the typical infectious diseases that happen in developing countries. Morocco is a really unique country in it's it is strongly developing in its evolution of its healthcare systems, its education systems. And that's what makes it such a great place to work, because even in the 10 years that I've been there, the improvement in the people's health in the region, the support of the government to provide adequate healthcare, adequate education, and a robust life has been incredible, even in the 10 years that I've been there. And that makes the programming that we do feel so, because you go back year after year and you see this change that's happened in the health of the people, in the sense of community, in the quality of the life of the folks. It's just amazing. So again, some of these objectives are addressed during the 3-credit course, which starts on February 14th. And I'll get into that here in just a little bit. And again, like Chloe said, we are engaged in meaningful service learning activities. So we develop programs that are requested or asked for by the locals. We work very closely with local organizations, with a local organization and the local people to provide education and information on programming that they want. And that, again, is a big part of successful community development. So some of the programming that we will be involved in while we are on the ground in Morocco would be our WASH program, which is water, sanitation, and hygiene. There is a beautiful river that runs through the village called the Ahansal River, and it is really the source of life for this region. And one of the, we've had some amazing programming that include recognizing the importance of this river and providing education that helps keep the river clean and allows people to use the river, but also maintains the life in the river. So those are some of the programming. For example, there's a wash station program that was done a few years ago that actually, the architecture students built the wash stations, and the health students did education around the importance of clean water and even ergonomics with the women, so that they weren't having to lean over into the river to do their laundry, because usually that's where they do it. And so it was a team effort to help improve the water, but also improve the health of the women that are working to do the laundry in the river. So that's just an example of a program that we've done in the past. The Community Refuse and Recycling Program is another health program that the health students have done through the Health Awareness Days. And this again was a partnership with the community, with the architecture students who built this amazing refuse, the burner, we call it, and it was a whole needs assessment. Where do we put the burner? How do we educate the local people about using garbage cans? Engaging the government to actually take over this program ultimately. So again, it was a whole group effort, and the health students were integral in education and sharing of knowledge. So again, these are the programmings that we've done in the past and that we continue to reinforce when we're there in May traveling. Agriculture, food security, and climate change mitigation is another, of course, really important aspect of the work we do. And we get to go out into the fields and work in the fields. We get to work in the community gardens. So the cool thing is students get to choose what aspect of the programming that they love. And we find ways of making sure that you get those experiences while you're in country, in the village. As Chloe mentioned, we do a lot of work with the tutoring program. We have programming that does community education and youth development. So a lot of our Health Awareness Days work with the tutoring program, similar to the video that Chloe showed earlier. And these kids are so much fun to work with. So there's lots of ways to ensure that if you're coming on the program, that you're finding the program that meets your needs and your interests. Okay, my slide isn't now. And I just love this picture, so I had to put it in. It's more of the tutoring program. This is I love this photo because it just depicts the ruggedness of the terrain, but also the beauty. And I would say that some of the programming that we also do has to do with economic development and social innovation. And so again, if that's something that the student is interested in, we have programs that can meet those needs. The Public Health and Health Education Awareness Days are, of course, the forefront of the work that I've been doing. For example, this was a group of students that did a breast cancer awareness session, and it was very successful. We've maintained this program throughout. I want to say we did this program in 2017 or 18, and every year we readdress the breast cancer awareness, and women support other women in the importance of monitoring and in talking to their family or talking to their friends or talking to their husband if they find anything abnormal. So we do this all in a very culturally sensitive way, and work very closely with the Women's Empowerment Group or the Women's Leadership to run these programs. Some of the other programming that we will have opportunities to work in is the Women's and Girls Empowerment. There is a women's co-op that we will be able to spend some time learning more about their co-op, and they're an amazing group of women that have become business women, and they have different herbs, they do spices, they make honey, and that's all part of their co-op that they have been very successful in entrepreneurship. And so we get to spend time with this group of women and learn about their how they've done it in this community. So when you're in Morocco, we stay in the guest houses, and the cooking is amazing, the food is amazing, the hospitality is amazing. These are guest houses that we've been staying at for over 10 years. They all are very experienced in accommodating students from all over the world. Again, and they've been trained with proper cooking strategies. Again, the food is unbelievable. We provide access to fresh water because actually our water program is an amazing program that's happened over the years. But again, we want to make sure that the students stay healthy and safe. So we are partnered up with an amazing group of folks where we stay that Chloe's been working with for many years. So how do you apply to get into the program? The website, there's an application that can be accessed on the Global Engagement Office website. The applications are due December 3rd. We'll know by December 10th if we have enough students, who's eligible to go. And then we start our coursework on February 14th. It is on Moodle, it's all online. It is a moderate amount of coursework for a 3-credit 400 level course. But the majority of the work is done while we're in the country between May 14th and June 4th. If you are a graduate student, I have additional programming and additional requirements that are expected of you. And we work on that one-on-one, developing those study plans. The program starts while we're in, actually, I think I have, yeah, here's the itinerary, a sample itinerary. The program starts the day we arrive in Morocco. That being said, travel to Morocco, we will get our own plane tickets because some folks might be coming from different parts of the United States. But if we want to meet in Amsterdam, if you've never been outside the country before, I make sure that everybody is super comfortable. I find, if we want to meet in say, in the past, we've met in either Amsterdam or in France, where we then take the final flight into Marrakesh. Atlas Cultural Foundation has an amazing team of staff that meet us at the airport, and we are taken care of from the moment we arrive in Marrakesh till the moment they put us on the plane and wave goodbye 3 weeks later. So some of the activities that we'll be doing along with the health awareness days and the educational days will be a day at the souk, which is the market. We get to trek into the high Atlas Mountains for a day, which is an amazing, fun walk up into the mountains. You get to see how people really live way up high. We'll have a farewell party and music. So it's really, the time goes so fast, you can't even believe it. This would be an example of our treks and excursions, the day that we get to walk up into the mountains. And again, fully guided with qualified mountain guides that are work with Atlas Cultural Adventures. And so we are never left alone. We're always have staff there, and it just, you feel very well taken care of, but with enough freedom to have your own experience and your own fun. So I had to put this slide in just in case, our COVID contingency plan. I hate to think about this, but I think we have to be realistic. If there is a chance that we don't get to travel to Morocco in May, Atlas Cultural Adventures has developed a full virtual excursion. So we would still do the 3-credit course starting February 14th. And then instead of being able to travel from May 14th to June 4th, we would meet as a group on Zoom anywhere between 5 days a week. We could decide, but we would be connecting with the folks on the ground in Morocco with this, what we call our synchronous virtual excursion, where we would actually be working with the groups and the staff on the ground, doing the community workshops, doing small groups. But then we also have what we call our asynchronous virtual excursion, which would include narrative PowerPoints, presentations, videos, PDF documents. These are all already created. So we would plug into that virtual excursion, and there's no additional cost. It would be all included in that original deposit that you make to sign up for the course in January, or the deposit I think is due in January. So I see that I have quite a few I just wanted to let folks know that we've had, there have been other students that come. We haven't been able to run this course the last 2 years, which makes me very sad. But this was from one of our students in 2015. And she just said it was the most heart-opening experience that she had ever had. And this gal was a nutrition major, actually, so and community health. But she also was in the French program too, I think, Chloe. And that's, again, getting back to the idea that there are so many different opportunities for the types of students that can fit with this program. You don't have to be a health major. You can be in French, you can be in political science, you can be in history, you can be, there's so many different fields that you can come from and still have a really meaningful experience in Morocco. I'm just gonna check to make sure that, oh, McKenna is doing excellent, okay.
Leigh, there was a question from a student asking, when you said that sophomores are eligible, if you had to have completed your sophomore year, or just that you were currently a sophomore. So I'm guessing that sophomore status is sufficient. You don't have to have completed, right? Because then actually you would move into junior status already if you completed your sophomore year.
Yes, exactly. Right. So if they're a sophomore right now, they can apply for sure. Yeah.
And Leigh, if they're a freshman right now, can they apply? I think that was the question. Can they take
It
this
would
course?
be, I would
going-
say that it would be something I would want to meet with a student and just get a sense of where they are and, you know, life experiences. This is, yeah, I guess I would want to just have the student connect with me one-on-one and we could discuss the options. You know, we just want to make sure that everybody gets the most out of the program, that everybody, you know, that all of the participants feel that they're ready for a program like this. And so so much of it would also depend on what other classes they're taking, and just to make sure that this is the right match for their needs and their life goals. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. And again, I think one more slide. I do want to encourage anybody that's interested to contact me or the Global Engagement Office. They have lots of great information as well. But if there's any question at all, don't hesitate to contact me. I have, you know, I would love to answer any questions, to see if this kind of a program would fit into your needs. And we would love it if you can all come along, because I just have to say that the people of Morocco and these programs are so robust, and they've been going for successfully for so many years, that it's a great, valuable experience for somebody that wants to immerse themselves into this culture and learn more about the people and the culture of Morocco and North Africa. There's just, again, there's so many different programs that we have going on that it lends itself to a diverse, interesting group of students. So
yeah, and Leigh, I would add anyone that's interested in community development, international nonprofit work, management, even architecture and restoration. That's actually my specialty and one of the main branches of Atlas Cultural Foundation that we haven't even talked about today. Education, like there's just so many branches that overlap here that you don't have to be a public health major
exactly.
to benefit from this program.
Right. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I think we're good, Maria. If you want to add anything, or if anyone joining us has any questions, we'd be happy to answer those now.
Yeah, great. Yeah, this was fantastic. I just totally I was excited to see those, the pictures and the videos, which I hadn't seen before. And what I really think it's critical about this program is the impact it has to the local community. And I was really excited to learn about women's empowerment opportunities and that aspect of the program, because I think that is so critical with the study abroad programs, that it's not a program where you go and take in the culture, but you give back a lot to the community, and that's the two-way thing that, and the two-way impact that goes on, that is so important. Would like to just add that just about the credit, that students will register for the 3 credits during the spring semester, and given the fact that the final payments are going to be due later than their spring, the tuition fee payments at the University of Montana, we'll have students register for the course after the spring bill finalization is over. And even though I will attach the course fee with the course already by the end of this week. So it's going to be a really seamless process. And that's also really important for the fact that then students would be able to use the financial aid for that. I mean, I actually had a meeting. We had a question from one prospective participant, and I did meet with the financial aid office about this last week. So we just have to make sure, and this is something I was going to communicate to both Leigh and Cloe, to you, that then there is a deadline by which we need to have students to register for the course in order for them to be able to utilize this academic year financial aid. So
Okay.
I have that in my notes. So
Okay.
I've clarified all of that. So these are the important things, but be assured that if there's questions that come, so if some of these will be answered, some of these might, I mean, most questions will probably be answered by Leigh as a program director. However, some of these educational abroad programming types of questions will be answered by our office. So, but Leigh and I are in constant communication, and also with Cloe as well. So we can get to all of your questions answered. But I think I want to leave you all with the note that I am so excited. We worked really hard with our advocacy efforts in the Global Engagement Office to reopen mobility and study abroad. And we are so excited. We have our first students abroad this fall semester. And so we've heard great reports, and we are in constant communication with them. And we are planning to send a lot more students during the spring semester. And we just want to do it in a very responsible, thoughtful way. And we'll make sure that everybody is well prepared also for these faculty directed programs. And I'm so thrilled to have such knowledgeable and great partners on site as Cultural Atlas Foundation, and Cloe here with us as a director, and all of her staff on the ground in Morocco. So I'm sure that everything will go very well. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much to Leigh and Cloe. And yes, we certainly hope, we're very hopeful that you'll be able to travel. And currently we're excited that Morocco's CDC level is at 2. So that gives us a lot of hope.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mara. Yes. Fingers crossed. Don't hesitate to email me if anybody has questions about the program.
Yeah, and if you have any friends or other classmates that might be interested, please
That's
pass the
right.
word along.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording right now and have a wonderful rest of your day. And hopefully you can join us with some of the other events during this International Education Week. We're really excited to offer a wide variety of programming this week at the University of Montana.
Yes.
So please
Thank
join
you.
us. In fact, we have the
Thank you.
opening ceremony today in the University Center at 12 noon. If you want to join us, we'll have a cultural presentation there as well.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Take care.